Hey, welcome in to the garage. Nice to finally get this thing inside. It sits super tall, so I had to ratchet strap the rear end down. It's sitting on the bump stops just to clear the garage door. I think when it's all loaded down, it'll sit a little closer to where I want, but I think it sits a little tall. I did manage to drive it around the block, and well, driving it with no seat is pretty tough. And the drive shafts make a ton of noise, so when I'm doing all the axle inspection and service, I'll probably end up getting the drive shafts inspected, and there's no CV joint on either end, and they're pretty extreme angles, so you'd like to see storming out here. Where was I? So yeah, these drive shafts are pretty steep. Excuse me. It's gonna be really tight to fit a CV under here, but I think it's the right thing to do to extend the life of these U-joints. Right now they're clankety clank, so definitely want to have someone check those out. First order of business today is to get this front end up on jack stands, get the tires off, and then we'll get into the fun stuff on the inside of the axles and see what we're working with. Working my way in on this side. Got this massive wheel spacer off, and look what we have here. A broken wheel stud. That's why I'm tearing this whole thing apart, just to get eyes on all of it. The wheel spacers are unfortunate, but it's part of life on these old Toyota axles are so narrow, and if you're trying to run big tires with good suspension, you got to do something to move those tires away from the middle. Well, here's some good news. I got the shafts out. They definitely resemble 30 spline chromoly Longfields. There's no markings or anything on it, but that's what they look like, so that's good. That's kind of what I was expecting and hoping for. I got kind of stuck on the outer hub, so I did it the old-fashioned way and just popped the steering arm off and took it all off as one piece. So we'll keep going and do the same on this side, and then I can pull the third member out and see what gearing is in it and see what's wrong with that A or B locker. Both sides are apart. This side actually has some Focus made in the USA trail gear. So I'm not sure why the long side doesn't have that same note on it, but yeah, this side came apart pretty good. There is damage here where the bolt for the steering arm has been hitting the bottom of this coilover, so this mount is going to have to get cut off and then raised up about a ½ inch or more. It's not a problem on the other side, so that's on the list too. Let's get this third member apart and see what's going on in there. Okay, there she is. Got the third member out and hooked the airline up to it, and it's leaking right out of this little solder joint. There's a copper line that comes from the airline down and around to the side here, and a bunch of bubbles came out right there when I pressurized the air locker. So I'm going to contact ARB and see what they have to say. So that took me like 2 hours to get this front end all the way apart. No real issues. The third member was kind of hard to get out, harder than I remember them being. And the long side shafts were super hard to get out too. So my next step is going to be fixing that ARB air leak. I'll send ARB an email, or I'll call them tomorrow and see. I've heard that they're really good with customer service, so fingers crossed. I'm going to do a ton of cleaning, clean up all these nuts and bolts, clean up the knuckles. I'm hoping to be able to service the wheel bearings behind the selectable hub, but those were seized on there pretty good, so that'll be for another day. Hey, well, thanks for sticking around this long. I'm going to get these tools cleaned up and put away and get the hell out of this garage. Obviously, this is only about halfway done when you have everything apart. Got to get it all cleaned up and put back together too, so. We'll see what ARB says about this locker. It looks like it's an easy fix. It's just some solder came loose. So overall, I'm happy with what I found taking this apart. I found one broken wheel stud, one bent high steer bolt, and just normal crusty Toyota stuff. I'm happy with these shafts. These should be plenty strong. I don't know about 42s and if I start using the throttle too much, but it's good to see that those have been upgraded. And the diff looks like it's in great shape. The ring and pinion are smooth and clean. So I don't think there's a lot of miles on those things. That's a really good sign, and I think fixing that air leak on the air locker won't be too big of a problem. So yeah, we'll see you on the next one. Thanks for watching.